good start when I already have sweat. Feels like I have sweat dripping down my face. It's so hot. Hello everyone, welcome back to the I Gained the Weight Back series. I have put this series to bed for my whole pregnancy and I'm actually really excited to be finally making this video because it's something I intended to do throughout and I haven't got round to, and I think it's really appropriate considering the first episode of this series was titled I'm Not Pregnant and here I am, very heavily pregnant. So when I film this video I am 36 weeks pregnant. This video is going to be going up later. I'm trying to pre-film stuff because I'll be going on maternity leave and videos will still go live, so baby might be here and videos will still be going up, who knows. I'm just filming in advance to be sensible for my mat leave. I'm going to sit like this because this is very applicable for this video. I set the camera up, sat like this, and immediately went, oh, that's not very flattering, and thought, oh, I don't want to sit like that, that doesn't look very good. And then I thought, I'm pregnant. I have a baby in here. I'm carrying a human being. How wonderful is that? And if my body looks this way while being able to hold a human being and grow a person, like literally create a brain, create personality, create organs and fingers and hair and eyelashes, then whatever way my body looks is unbelievably beautiful because that is a miracle. So I'm going to sit here like this feeling maybe at a slightly uncomfortable angle. I feel like it's very appropriate for this video. So if you aren't familiar with this series, I decided to make this series, I think it was about a year ago, maybe a bit longer, because I was getting an incessant amount of comments about my weight gain. It's something that happens a lot to women, unfortunately. We are scrutinised about our bodies way too much. Our bodies are scrutinised so much when we are skinny, when we are adhering to beauty standards, when you see women who are losing weight, getting plastic surgery. People criticise women for that, saying that they are, you know, creating an unrealistic standard, an unrealistic beauty standard, that they've lost their natural look. And then when we see women who are natural, who have curvier bodies or different shaped noses or grey hairs, or they have stretch marks, we think, oh, that's not very nice. Why is she wearing that? That's not flattering. Her stretch marks don't look very good. She's really lost herself and she needs to go and get her Botox done, or she needs to lose some weight, she needs to go on a diet. This pressure on women to look a certain way is so prominent and I see it more and more now. I feel like it's becoming worse potentially than even when I was a teenager, which was pretty bad with those magazines that we used to read growing up. I just noticed I was part of that because I am on social media and I have people watching me. So people would notice my fluctuations in weight, and because I'm in my 30s, people often assumed that I was pregnant. So I thought I would address it. I'd make a video, I'd talk about the fact that I gained weight, my experience with weight gain after having an eating disorder in my 20s, and how that made me feel about my body changes. And since then I've filmed various videos on the topic, what I eat in a week, my approach to my body, clothes and trying clothes and buying clothes when your weight has changed and your size has changed. So I will leave a link to the playlist, but because I'm now pregnant, there's a whole other selection of things that you have to think about when it comes to your body. So I asked on Instagram, what do you guys want to know about pregnancy, weight gain, body image, postpartum, all of the above, and I'm going to answer them for you today. So let's get straight into it. Did gaining weight during your pregnancy feel easy? I'm struggling with mine. No, it did not feel easy. It felt challenging. I had this idea for a long time, which I think I mentioned in one of my pregnancy videos, maybe in my first trimester vlog, that for a long time, unfortunately, because of the messages I've received from the outside world and because of having a history with an eating disorder, body dysmorphia, I held off trying to get pregnant because I had this idea that I needed to like get in really tip-top shape. My whole life had to be get together, including the way my body looked, that I needed to be really fit, slim, and if I did that, then when I got pregnant, it wouldn't affect my body so dramatically, that I wouldn't gain so much weight, that my body would bounce back easier and I wouldn't lose myself in the process. Obviously, that was an anxious thought that was just completely untrue and not something that would be helpful. And I overcame that with my own processes of therapy and moving forwards with my body image. And when I first got pregnant, I was very afraid of how my body would change. I think as pregnancy has gone on, I have found myself caring less and less and less about what my body looks like and caring more about me and my baby being healthy. It has actually given me the perspective to care more about something that's more important, essentially, than my body image. I feel like as pregnancy has gone on, I'm like, I'm actually fine with whatever my body needs to do in order to look after this baby. If I'm hungry, I'm eating. I'm listening to Cravings. I'm not really thinking about it so much. I do go through phases sometimes where I look at myself in the mirror or I see photos or videos of me in certain outfits from certain angles and I'm like, oh goodness me, I really look very different. I think overall it doesn't really stick in my mind for very long because I'm like, well, what does it matter? Like, honestly, genuinely, if you actually break it down, where are those messages coming from that tell you that weight gain during pregnancy is bad? As long as you're healthy, obviously there are circumstances that sit outside of this kind of conversation about body image where doctors or there's like health reasons why being, you know, weight gain or whatever could be a problem for you and your baby, but that's not what I'm discussing here because that's obviously a diagnosable thing that some women experience excessive weight gain because of something that's going on with them. If you're healthy and you're looking after yourself and your body is gaining weight as a result, that's literally what your body is designed to do. So it should be celebrated because it's a miracle. And I think that that's ultimately what comes through my mind, that yes, it's difficult, that my body is changing, that I don't know what I'm going to look like post-baby, that I'm wearing clothes that are much bigger than clothes I used to wear or ever thought I would wear. But I honestly, truly don't care at this point. Maybe that will change postpartum when there's no baby inside of me anymore. But right now, I don't care. I really don't. I have flabby arms and I have a big belly. My boobs are hanging low. I feel like I've got a double chin, but what does it matter? What does it matter? Anything you particularly love about your body right now? That is such a lovely question. So I'm going to say I love my bump because I didn't really have a bump for a while. I feel like my bump in the earlier stages, especially when I announced my pregnancy, I feel like that was just my stomach being bloated and me kind of like posing in a certain way that kind of showed that actually lots of women do have curves on their stomach, and I do and did. There wasn't much of a bump. It was a very little bump and I could kind of wear a dress or sort of accentuate it, but now I actually have a proper bump. Like it's there, and when I wear clothes, I can't wear a lot of my clothes because my bump's too big. And I love that because my baby's in there and I feel close to her. It's just exciting. It's exciting having a bump and being pregnant. And that's what I love about my body right now. That I feel very, I don't know, I feel very like natural. I feel like it's just passed on to other things. I've stopped getting my nails done. Originally it was because I was doing DIY at the cottage. And so I was like, it's really pointless to get my nails done because they get ruined. And then I cancelled my hair appointment to dye my grey hair because I had back pain and I was like, I cannot sit in a salon for 4 hours. And now I'm just like, do I need to go get my nails done? Do I need to go get my hair dyed? And I'm wearing less makeup and I'm embracing that Mother Nature feel. I'm becoming one with my body and myself, and that may change again. Like I really don't like saying this stuff with the premise that this is how I am now, because maybe postpartum or even before baby, maybe I'll book a hair appointment and dye my hair because I don't like the greys. Maybe I'll get my nails done because I find it very fun to get my nails done and I love my nail tech. But right now I'm just trying to like listen to what is instinctual to me, and that is I don't really want to go dye my grey hair. I have a lot of greys at the top. I'm kind of curious to see what it would look like if I didn't, and then maybe I don't like it and I dye it. I'm just enjoying not wearing makeup and yeah, not worrying so much. How do you think you'll manage your body postpartum? I massively struggled and was unkind to myself. Postpartum, I have no idea how I'm going to feel. I probably will make another video like this postpartum or I'll talk about it, I know I will, because I know that obviously you're extremely hormonal postpartum. Right now, the love I'm feeling for my body is because my baby is inside of it. And I wonder whether when they're not inside of it, whether I will go back to feeling insecure about my body. But then maybe I won't, because maybe I'll accept that that body created this life. So that's an amazing thing. And the results of the way my body looks after that is because of her. So I think what I'm going to continue to do is some of the things I've been doing in pregnancy to really feel connected to my body. So I've been doing meditation, and I've also been having therapy, which is really, really vital. I think that it's helped me so much throughout, which leads me on to the paid partnership of today's vlog, which is BetterHelp. I've worked with them so much, and personally I've worked with BetterHelp with my own therapist, and it has been instrumental for all of these things I'm discussing in today's vlog. I wouldn't be at the place I am with my body image and with feeling confident and reassured if I hadn't had therapy to work through those emotions and those feelings. One of my goals at the start of therapy was to feel more confident in my body, because I remember one of the things that we spoke about when I first started therapy was that when I would avoid mirrors when I was not wearing clothes, and I would find it just uncomfortable, the idea of my body. And I don't feel like that right now. I look in the mirror and I think, wow, look at my bump. And when you're pregnant, your identity changes a lot. You feel like that's all you can think about. I talk about it a lot because it takes over my brain. And I know that this is the experience of so many other people, that it's all you can think about, and it can be quite like, your body is changing, your brain is changing, your life is changing as you know it, and all of those changes can be very, very daunting, very, very overwhelming, and they can send you into a little bit of a spiral because it happens very quickly, but also very slowly at the same time. And therapy has enabled me throughout those changes and those big overwhelming feelings and switches in my life and things that are coming. Obviously, I'm about to become a parent. It has enabled me to go through that process with a lot more certainty and a lot more confidence, and find ways and tools to actually help me through that. So if you've been interested in having therapy, whether you're pregnant or not, whether you're trying to conceive, whether you're postpartum, BetterHelp could be the answer, because they have incredible therapists. I love my therapist. She has been my favourite therapist I've ever had. She's given me actual tools I genuinely use all the time that have really, really transformed my life. And what a therapist does is they'll listen, they'll ask questions, and they'll also help you see things from a different perspective. Sometimes they can just say a very, very short amount of words to you, and it can flip everything in how you're viewing a situation, which you wouldn't have viewed before, because they're very good at that. It's incredible the impact that can have when you've looked at something a certain way for a long time. So this could apply to your body image, or your confidence, or insecurities around your body. It could be that you've been looking at it one way for a very long time, and a therapist could really help you unpick why that's happening, and it could make your whole mindset shift. And then they can give you the advice and techniques that can make positive changes in your life. For me, I have made so many positive changes through visualizations, through meditation, and just approaching scenarios differently that trigger me. All you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist as quickly as possible. I think I was matched with mine within 48 hours. If your therapist isn't the right match, you also can switch really easily, so you're not limited. You can make sure you have chemistry and you feel comfortable with the person that you're having therapy with. And this comes at no extra cost. They have over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, so they are a platform that you know you can trust. So if you've been thinking about taking therapy or starting therapy, if any of these conversations today have brought up a lot of emotion for you and you're thinking, yes, I really need to address that, therapy could be the answer. So if you click the link down below, you will get 10% off your first month of therapy with my link, and I would really recommend it. I will keep recommending therapy to you because it is such a transformative experience in life to have someone else support you through the challenges you're facing, and I don't think you should ever be dealing with it alone. So go check BetterHelp out. Highly recommend. Thank you to them for being the paid partner for today's video. How are you feeling about your body? Empowered or last trimester exhaustion only? So I'm going to answer this from a physical point of view because I've answered kind of the how am I feeling about my body. Physically, I am exhausted with my body. I think that's the thing that I feel like I've lost with an appreciation for my body, is the physical ability it has, the mobility of being able to get up and down, go up the stairs, go and garden for long periods of time, go on long walks, exercise. I'm not able to do any of those things, and it really does get me down. Some days I get quite frustrated because I am a high energy person. Maybe that doesn't come across. I don't know what comes across in my videos. I do a lot of I just do a lot. I'm not someone who's like sitting. I'm always on the go. I feel like I'm always rushing and I'm fast. Like my dad always used to be like, Maddie, slow down. And Alex is always telling me to slow down. So yeah, my days used to be, I'd exercise, I'd walk Roxy for a really long time, I'd be in the garden for ages, I'd always be running about the house, cooking, and I could get a lot done physically. So when that's removed, that's a bit like, that's quite a hard adjustment when you're trying to do something. When I try and do some gardening for half an hour and then I'm like completely exhausted for an hour afterwards and I have to sit down. It's just, that's the thing that I'm feeling frustrated with, but I know that that's a lesson I need to learn because, like I said, I'm about to have a little person in my life who I have to slow down for. And right now, my physical ability is going into holding her, and that's more important than gardening or being able to go on long walks or exercise. Like, she's the priority. So it's only temporary. And so when she's here, my friend has already just messaged me, who's just given birth, said how nice it is to not have a bump in the way. And she's like, it's honestly such a relief. So I think I will feel that relief very strongly for sure. So someone's asking about whether my body image in pregnancy has triggered old thoughts. I would say yes, it definitely has. But the difference in what I've been saying in this video versus having old thoughts is that they're just thoughts. So while I've had those thoughts throughout my pregnancy, I think definitely in the first and second trimester when my body was changing initially and I was feeling very emotional, I was experiencing like depression and anxiety, I had a lot of those thoughts where I was feeling very uncomfortable about my body, not like looking at myself in the mirror. And also I noticed that I wasn't like taking bump pictures or really like showing it off. I think it's because I was having those thoughts, but I was really just trying not to pay attention to them because I'm trying to have this attitude of it doesn't matter. So while those thoughts come up, I don't react to them like I used to. So I have that ability now, and I'm very like proud of myself for the fact that yes, I can have the old thoughts and I can be triggered, but it doesn't mean I have to do anything about it. I can have a thought of you shouldn't be eating that, or your body looks awful, or you've gained too much weight, or you're unattractive, or whatever horrible thoughts your brain conjures up, but I don't need to pay attention to it. I can go, that's a really horrible thought, but I'm going to eat this lovely delicious meal, and I don't even think twice about it, because why would I? You know, if I don't like the way I look, I'm like in a video and I'm editing or something, I'm just like, it doesn't matter, like whatever, I don't love the way I look, but it is what it is. And I think that's the difference between now and before, is that those sorts of thoughts used to tear me apart and make me make changes that would be destructive for me. That only happens through therapy and looking after yourself and self-care and understanding the bigger picture, that when you allow those negative thoughts to take over your life, negative things happen. When you don't allow those negative thoughts to take over your life, positive things can happen and you can actually live a life that makes you happy. So that can, yeah, that will come about through therapy, self-care, and actually looking at the bigger picture. And it does take a lot of work, but it's amazing once you get there that you're like, okay, so I've not changed as a person. I still struggle with these insecurities and these feelings and these thoughts, but I react differently now, which is the main thing. Any weird or wonderful cravings? No, I haven't had any weird cravings. I thought I might do because I love food, but I've had nothing weird. I've mainly had the cravings I've had throughout pregnancy. One of the biggest ones has been chips. I eat chips all the time now. Never really used to do that. Potatoes, chips, frozen chips, wedges, homemade chips, whatever, I'll have them. And chocolate, I love chocolate, and also fruit. I have to have fresh fruit, frozen fruit every single day, whereas fruit used to be something that obviously I would have. I think I generally would have fruit every day, but it wouldn't be like, oh my god, I need fruit with my breakfast. Whereas I will have to have like a kiwi, some raspberries, some strawberries, like in a little bowl with my breakfast. Like this morning we've not got any fresh fruit, so I had a bowl of frozen mango with my tofu scramble, and that's been throughout my pregnancy. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's all the nutrients in fruit, or maybe it's because it's very hydrating and I feel thirsty. Only other cravings I had a few cravings for my McDonald's burgers, but I've had a few plant burgers. That's unlike me because I hate McDonald's as a corporation, don't want to support them, but the craving was so insatiable I had to have it. But nothing weird, nothing strange, nothing out of the ordinary, that's for sure. How do you handle the societal pressure of not gaining too much weight during pregnancy? So I do feel like I've answered this in lots of different ways. This is like lots of you are asking a similar question, which says to me that as women, we feel so much pressure during pregnancy to think about our weight, which does make me sad because it is a little bit like, why? Why are we thinking about that? Why aren't we thinking about whether we're healthy, whether our baby's doing well? I mean, we are thinking about that, of course we are. That is what we're thinking about, but we shouldn't be having to think about whether we've gained the right amount or the wrong amount of weight in pregnancy, unless it's a health issue. Like obviously, unless that's something that poses an issue for you and your baby, like that's different. That's separate. But why is that a consideration? It's so fucked up. It's, sorry for my language, but it is. That it should not be a thing. We should live in a world where weight gain during pregnancy is celebrated because you're carrying a person and you need the extra weight to hold them, to nourish them, and to protect them. So it's just, it makes me mad. It makes me so mad. So I think probably I'm leaning into my kind of feminism around this, understanding where this comes from, that it's rooted in the patriarchy, that it's rooted in the world's hatred of women and how we just expect women to be everything, but also when they are everything, we still find holes and find ways to punish them and critique them and tear them down. And as long as I understand that and I have that larger grasp of where this is coming from, I can reconcile it. I can go, I know why I feel this pressure around my weight, because of society, because of the messages I've received throughout my childhood, throughout my teenage years, and the images I've seen of pregnancy online, in videos, in movies, in music videos, in whatever. I've seen it throughout my whole life. And so when I understand that that's where it's coming from, I can kind of, I can understand that it's just based in nonsense, that if you were to remove all of that, the weight gain doesn't matter. And anyone who kind of comments on your weight during pregnancy or any kind of thoughts you have that come up in your own mind are from that societal pressure. They're not based in truth. They're based in prejudice, judgment, and women being marginalised in that way and having our bodies scrutinised in that way. So it's always a bit like my activist in me kind of going, you know what? I don't need to pay attention to that societal pressure, because why should I? Same as the other parts of me that feel strongly about other subjects in the world. I feel like your body is, and your rejection of adhering to a specific body standard is an act of feminism in itself. And also I think of my little girl. Do I really want her to be worried about her body if I'm worried about my body? I need to really do the work for myself so that she can have a positive relationship with her body, because she can see that modelled in me. Okay, someone's saying, also pregnant here, struggling a little with the thought that weight gain is actually welcomed now. I'm also already getting bombarded with postpartum fitness advice on social media and wondering how you deal with that, / if you have any advice for the creeping get your body back thoughts. So if you're seeing lots of videos about postpartum weight loss fitness advice that feels uncomfortable for you, I would just really encourage you just to not engage with it, because with the algorithm, the more you engage with it, the more they're going to show it to you. So if you ever see a video like that and you know that it's going to make you feel crap, swipe. You can highlight that on TikTok and I think on Instagram and say not interested. And just don't engage with it. Delete TikTok for a few days. Delete Instagram for a few days. I delete TikTok at the weekends because I know that's when my mind is freer, because I'm not working as much and I tend to scroll. And if you start to engage in certain things, they will just keep feeding it to you. So just don't engage. I saw a video this morning of a girl saying how much weight she'd lost. She got back to her pre-baby weight. She said what her weight was, which was very low. And then she said about why it was important to her. And I thought it was a video that was going to be leading into like her kind of turning on its head and being like, it doesn't matter though, because you've got, you know, your body is amazing and blah, blah. I thought it was going to be some kind of twist on it, but it wasn't. It was just her sharing how she got back to a very, very slim weight very, very quickly after baby. And I was kind of shocked, to be honest. I was thinking, that is so dangerous. Not only are you showing your body off in the video, but also you're sharing your weight and you're sharing tips to vulnerable women who are postpartum, probably feeling awful about themselves. But that's just my opinion. I don't know that that content's particularly helpful for anybody. I don't know what it's doing beyond, I guess, potentially damaging other people. I'm not a fan of that. And so if you come across that kind of content, just disengage from it. Be really strict with yourself. Don't allow it to go into your brain, and surround yourself with real life people who look normal and women who are postpartum who still have big bellies and and haven't lost that weight, and just touch the grass because social media can really paint a strange picture. You will have probably in your life girls who postpartum go back to a very slim weight and girls who stay at the bigger weight they were during their pregnancy. And there'll be so many different reasons for that. Someone could have lost their postpartum weight because of breastfeeding, because they're so exhausted that they don't have time to eat. because they are really struggling with their body image and they're actively trying to diet and lose weight in an unhealthy way. You could have someone postpartum who has not lost the weight because of being busy and not having the time to exercise or eat healthy, because they don't care and they're happy with their body and they love the way it looks and the shape it is as it is. Or there's another health reason that you have no idea about. Or that's just the way their body's going to be from now on because they're a mother and they have grown a human being. If you remove the nuance and you just focus on, okay, I need to lose this weight postpartum because that's what the world has always told me to, I've got to bounce back. If you remove the nuance, you're just making your life so difficult. You don't know what woman you're going to be out of those women. You don't know which version you're going to be. Just look after yourself, balance, care, give yourself a break. Obviously everyone's different, everyone has different priorities. I'm not judging anybody postpartum if you want to do that. If you feel really great when you're a certain weight and that's going to make you happy, genuinely happy. But if it's making you feel uncomfortable, just don't follow people like that and don't engage with it. How are the stretch marks? I'm getting them now too and it's challenging at times. I haven't got any stretch marks in this pregnancy. I have stretch marks already though, so I don't know that it would have bothered me too much. I do have a little stretch mark from my belly button piercing when I was 16 that I'm now regretting. I think my belly button piercing fell out when I was in my early 20s. It's never gone back in, but now I have like a red mark. Don't know if that will go back or it will be a red mark there forever. Probably won't be red, but there may be a stretch mark there. I've got a couple stretch marks, I think, appearing on my hips, but my body is not free from stretch marks anyway. I have fluctuated a lot in weight over the years because of having an eating disorder. So I have stretch marks on my boobs, I have stretch marks on my bum, I have stretch marks on my calves, on my thighs. And so if I was to have some on my stomach, I know that it can happen like after you give birth. I'm not going to be that bothered because I feel like they're not that visible. Again, I think it's one of those things that you can choose your mindset on it. You can think, okay, where is this messaging coming from that stretch marks are bad? Is it coming from any truth or is it coming from just some made up idea that stretch marks are bad? You know, you could think of the recent trend where freckles are now in. When I was younger, freckles were not in. And every time I got freckles, I would think, oh God, I wish my freckles weren't on show so much because it was not cool to have freckles. You were teased for it, basically. And now people are putting, you know, there's whole makeup ranges designed for false freckles. So if you look at it this way and you think, it's just a mark on my body, on my skin, like where is the idea that it's bad coming from? Because is it literally just made up? It's made up, it's just from somewhere. Who made it up? Who decided stretch marks are bad? What's bad about them? Maybe question that, change your mindset on it, and actually like unpack that a little bit and think, where is it coming from? Is it because it's a sign of youth to not have stretch marks? But I'm not youthful anymore, I'm a mother now, I'm not a teenager, so do I really want to be a teenager still? Do I want to look like a teenager? Probably not. Probably would like to look my age or have evidence that I've had a baby. So I don't know, it could be worth journaling about it and writing those sorts of thoughts down. So if your stretch marks are bad and it's making you feel self-conscious, kind of understanding maybe where those self-conscious feelings are coming from in the first place. How do you balance giving into your cravings with opting for healthy snacks? So my approach to pregnancy has been that my diet has stayed pretty similar. I eat more because I'm hungrier. My base of my diet is healthy, so like I care a lot about nutrition and making sure I'm getting the right things. I take my supplements, my wild nutrition supplements every day. So for example, a day might look like, this morning I had avocado on rye toast with scrambled tofu with loads of veg in it. I think I had carrots, mushroom and spring greens, a side of kimchi, and then a little bowl of mango with a decaf coffee. And that has been my breakfast actually very recently. It's the thing I've been having loads. And then for lunch, I might have a sandwich. I might have leftovers from the night before from dinner. Yesterday I had a bowl of some potatoes and some beans and some hummus. And for dinners, it's pretty standard. Like my dinners are the same as all the Wine weeks I've shown you in the past. So it will be dal or pasta or curry or sometimes it's burger and chips. Sometimes it's homemade, sometimes it's not. I'm just eating as I was before. The difference for me is that I do also have cravings and I eat more snacks probably than I was before having the baby, and I have given into them because I don't see it as giving into them as much as I see it as I'm hungry and this is food. That's as simple as it is. If I'm hungry and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, I don't want to be sitting in the kitchen trying to figure out what healthy snack I can make. I want to just eat something. And sometimes that's just a packet of crisps and a chocolate bar. And it's sustenance, it's food. The crisps have carbohydrates that are going to fill me up. The chocolate bar has fat and also enjoyment, comfort. That goes a long way when you're pregnant. And in the evenings, you know, maybe sometimes my snacks involve a nice bowl of fruit and nuts. Sometimes they're crisps and chocolate, or they're some bread and butter. I have such neutrality around food now that I'm just like, it doesn't matter as much. And when you do that, you do find that you pay attention and actually start to acknowledge what makes you feel good and what doesn't make you feel good. So maybe the approach you could take is, instead of comparing healthy snacks with cravings and thinking of them as two separate things, like, oh, I need to make sure that they're healthy versus cravings, you could think, as long as I have education around nutrition, I know what food is good for me, I know what food makes me feel good, I don't need to value this snack as healthy and this snack as unhealthy, because they both have different purposes. And I know lots of people think, oh, well, if you do that, you're just going to eat really unhealthily. You won't, because if you did, unhealthily, you know what I mean. If you did, you just would feel crap. You would feel bad. If you care about nutrition, if you care about your health and your body, you will end up having a balance, to be honest. You'll eat mostly healthy, nutritious, yummy foods, you'll be full enough, and you'll not worry when you're having foods that are ultra processed or unhealthy or junk food, all those things, because they're just food. How do you respond if someone makes a comment on your pregnant body? So I've been lucky, actually. My family are very aware because of my history. They don't really comment on my body a lot, probably because in the past I've set that boundary with them. I was trying to think about this the other day. I was like, did I ever say this to them explicitly? But I feel like I have enough that they generally don't. More it's people online making comments about my body, like saying, oh, you look like you've lost weight in pregnancy, or you look like your bump is growing, or your bump looks really big. I just kind of let it wash over me, because again, it's a bit like it doesn't have any relevance to my life, and I just try not to pay attention to it too much. I don't know how to answer this. I feel like my answers are so similar. Maybe I'm really coming very far with all of this, because yeah, I'm a bit like, I just don't pay attention to it. I suppose maybe I'll have a reaction in a moment and then I move on. If there is someone or people in your life who regularly make comments on your body, I would try and set a boundary with them where you could sort of ask them nicely, say, I know maybe you're coming from a nice place, you know, if it's a mum or someone, a friend who comments on your bump a lot or how you're looking, you could say, while I know what you're saying is sweet and it's nice and you're just acknowledging that I'm growing a baby, it does make me feel a bit funny sometimes. So could you just maybe not say anything in the future? Or if you want to say something, just make it more neutral. So you could be like, your bump is looking beautiful, or, I'm trying to think of what could be an alternative, like, wow, your bump looks so amazing in that outfit. You're acknowledging that you look different and you have this, but it's not so like, wow, your bump is massive. Or, wow, you really don't have a bump, because I know that's something that someone else said, that they have quite a small bump and that makes them feel quite uncomfortable, and people comment on that a lot when they're like, wow, you don't even look that pregnant. That can make women feel quite insecure, because then they worry that there's something wrong. So yeah, I would set that boundary, but then when people do it, just kind of be a bit like, you know what, it doesn't have to have relevance to me. I don't need to pay attention to it. I know I'm good. We're gonna finish on the last question, which is nice. It says, all things aside, how are you? So I think that this is the only question that should matter in pregnancy. I know actually I've seen quite a few videos having said that people really don't like being asked how they are feeling during pregnancy, because the only answer is, I feel like crap, or I'm really struggling, and they feel like they have to go, yeah, I'm feeling great. I quite like being asked how I am in pregnancy, because I like being honest. I'm not someone who's going to be like, yeah, no, I'm fine, I'm doing great. I mean, unless it's literally an acquaintance who I don't know. But when my friends or family ask me how I am, or when you guys ask me how I am, I like to be honest, because I don't like to paint a picture of perfection on the internet when it comes to pregnancy at all. Some people have taken issue with that and told me I need to be quiet, and that I'm not the first woman to be pregnant and all I do is moan and complain. And here my activist self comes in and says, you know what, that is internalised misogyny to tell women to be quiet about their truth, about their feelings, about their experiences, because every woman has a very different experience of pregnancy. And I think it's important for us to be honest about our experiences of pregnancy and motherhood and being a woman, or just how we live our lives. Because if all of us was just to go, you know what, we just keep trucking on and getting on with it, and we shouldn't complain, we shouldn't moan. You are literally feeding into the patriarchy, telling you that you need to be a quiet, complicit woman who shouldn't speak her truth, who shouldn't be honest. Be truthful, be honest. If you're having an incredible pregnancy, shout that from the rooftops. Be that person to make other women feel like, wow, pregnancy is a beautiful thing. I'm so excited for it because this woman in my life has had such a lovely experience, and that makes it look magical. I love watching those people online who have had magical pregnancies and have found it really positive, because it gives me something positive to focus on. But I also equally love when women are honest about the struggles, when they've had insomnia, when they've had sickness, when they've had depression, anxiety, when they've really struggled with their body changes. That has given me validation for how I'm feeling and for the fact that pregnancy is a challenge and it's difficult. And everyone in my life I've spoken to who's been pregnant has had it difficult. They've had it hard. They have found it difficult and challenging, all the while finding it a miracle and enjoyable and lovely and amazing at the same time. In fact, I don't actually know a single pregnant woman who has just had a lovely experience of pregnancy and it's all been smooth sailing. I think that's more rare. I think generally there's always going to be things that crop up, whether that's extra scans or health issues or illnesses or morning sickness, body changes, work being difficult whilst you're pregnant, feeling tired, feeling exhausted. Like, pregnancy is a whole thing of growing a person. It's a challenge. It's a real challenge. Anyway, that was a ramble. How am I? I'm actually feeling really quite good at the minute. Mentally, I'm feeling very good. I'm feeling strong. I think that I've put a lot of things in place during my pregnancy out of like survival mode for baby and for me. Things like therapy, like I said, meditation. I've been meditating every morning. I also have been trying to get outside in nature enough that I'm feeling connected and not going on social media and scrolling. I've been deleting TikTok at the weekend, so my screen time has been down. Physically, I'm just feeling more tired and exhausted, but that almost is not as, it doesn't matter as much. I think I'm starting to feel a bit like, oh goodness, it's like really close now. I'm like 4 weeks away from baby coming and I don't feel ready. But I also think that's like completely normal too, because I said that to my friends yesterday. I was like, oh, some days I have meltdowns, some days I feel great. And they were like, yeah, exactly. That's what every pregnant woman feels. Every pregnant woman is going to be feeling some days like, oh my God, I'm so excited to meet the baby. I can't wait. I just want it to be here now. And then the next day you're going to be like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for birth. I'm not ready to do this. How am I going to get a baby out my body? And then like, I haven't done it, everything. That's why I decided to film in this room, because this is the reality. Look at this nursery. It's full of crap. Here's my hospital bag, unpacked. I'm having a home birth, but I'm still gonna pack a hospital bag. Yeah, there's just a whole mix of emotions. Some days I'm like, I'm so ready, like there's nothing else to do. Like, work is fine, like I'll just figure that out. And then the next day I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have so much work to do before maternity leave, cottage isn't done, or nursery's not finished and I'm feeling not ready. What things do I need for the baby before she gets here? And I'm just trying to ride that wave, and when I feel it, I tell Alex and I just speak to him about it and my family about it, and you just kind of keep going and you realise that you're honestly never going to be that ready. So you just got to figure it out as you go. So that's how I'm feeling. I hope you enjoyed this vlog and these questions, and it's actually been like a little bit of a therapy session. I'm actually quite proud of myself how far I've come answering these questions. Like, I feel like I've been very honest and truthful. I'm actually like reflecting and thinking, wow, that's quite incredible to feel this way now compared to the woman who was maybe hesitant about being pregnant because of her body and so scared about her body changes and still feeling that pressure. I feel like I'm probably in the best place I've been in a very, very long time about my body, which I'm very proud of myself for. So I'm hoping that this can give you that confidence to embark on that journey too if you're not there. It's important, do it for yourself and do it for your baby if you're pregnant. Yeah, I love you all, and I really appreciate you supporting me throughout pregnancy and also with this series, and I will make one postpartum to reflect on how I'm feeling about that once I've had the baby. Maybe we could do a little shopping vlog where we go and get some postpartum clothes or something, go do some antique shopping, some vintage shopping, sorry. I know I enjoyed that vlog when I did that, I think about a year ago or so. Don't forget to check out BetterHelp if that is something that you'd be interested in. I know therapy has helped me so much immensely to have these kinds of discoveries and feelings. My therapist is incredible. If that's something that you feel that could help you with your changes with your body, then I'd really recommend BetterHelp. So I'll leave a link down below for you to get your discount and on screen. And thanks again to them for partnering with me on this video, and I will see you in my next one.